empowerment are.
And the Christians being the majority in Ghana, what do you think will happen? And to me, that is a real test.
Prejudicial comments on it.
It is unconstitutional. If you look at Article 21C of the Constitution, it gives every Ghanaian an opportunity to practice their religion.
Why am I saying this? I'm going to use my life experience as an example. Before I decided to enter into SRC,
COVID is very important. HIV is equally important.
Agencies must do a lot. And Ministry of Gender.
I could see flashes of light, I could see shadows, I could see images, but then it stopped. I am now blind and have to be sad and all that.
There are challenges to this effect. So what do we do as a nation? What do we do as individuals? What do we do as organizations?
Je lance à toutes les personnes handicapées, aussi bien les femmes également.
Once you lack integrity, trust me, you are going nowhere.
A lot of people go to church and they are Christians, but they are not truly repentant. It happened to me, like only by the mercy and grace of God that I'm alive to share all that I've been through or went through.
Showing every Friday at 6 p.m. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on Twitch, as well as YouTube. You are welcome to Empowerment show, showing on Today Ghana News TV. A very good evening to us all. You are welcome once again to Empowerment Our Show with Joyce Ohenewa Kwapon on Today Ghana News TV. A happy Friday to you all, and I hope you had a blissful week. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Kindly like our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. For those watching us from the Eastern European countries, you may watch us via Twitch on satellite on Today Ghana News TV. Thank you once again for joining us. Tonight promises to be very entertaining, and we have with us a special guest. We hope that we would make it brief today. It's just going to last for an hour, so kindly join us and share the link for your friends to also join us. So quickly, I would want to read the profile of our guest for tonight, and then we will zoom into the substantive issues for tonight. Okay, so we have with us tonight Madam Bridget Jogbenuku, and she's the PPP presidential candidate for the 2020 elections. Madam Bridget Jogbenuku is the founder and executive director of Mentoring Women Ghana, an organization born from her belief that women in leadership makes economic and developmental sense. MWJ runs programs that inspire and empower young women and girls into leadership and into making a difference in their communities. Mentoring Women Mentoring Women is the Ghanaian flag bearer for Vital Voices annual global mentorship work, an annual program that establishes strong bonds and mentoring relationships between emerging young ladies and accomplished, experienced women. She won the Fortune Goldman Sachs Women Leadership Award in 2008. Her belief in the positive impact of local women's enterprise on the development of communities led her to establish V-Flavor Industries, an edible palm oil production and packaging social enterprise that works with women in the Afajato South District of Ghana, contributing to their otherwise obscure but superior brand on shelves in the cities in Ghana and internationally. For 12 years, Madame Bridget Jogbenuku was the first general manager of Aviation Social Center, a fitness and recreational center in Accra, where she introduced various innovative fitness programs and events into the niche industry in Ghana. Previously, she worked with Ashanti Goldfields as liaison officer in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and prior to that, a brand manager with SC Johnson Wax. She's a certified empowerment trainer who runs personal growth and development workshops, particularly to women groups, and gives presentations on etiquette and manners. Also, on exercise and wellness to various groups and organizations with emphasis on the youth. She served on the University of Ghana School of Languages Management Committee for 2 years and was also a coach for the Ghanaian Women's Social Leadership Program, a Mujeres por Africa, Women for Africa program, which ran through the New York University's Wagner's Institute. Madame Bridget is a fellow of the Vital Voices Leadership Network and has participated in various Vital Voices leadership training programs, including the Fortune U.S. State Department Global Women's Mentorship Partnership 2008, VV Lead 2014, and VV Engage 2019. Madame Bridget Jogbenuku ran for running mate, that's the vice president to the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party in Ghana in the year 2006 during the 2006 general elections. She has been a sportswoman all her life, a track and field athlete, and a basketball player in her high school and university years, and currently loves and plays tennis. She is a mother of one. She is driven by the strong will of the Ghanaian woman to succeed no matter the odds and has a dream of seeing women in key leadership roles in organizations in Ghana. We are very much privileged tonight to have with us Madame Bridget Jogbenuku, and we hope to have a very interactive session with her on the topic, how can women reach the political pinnacle? Thank you so much for joining us, Madame Bridget. It's an honor to have you tonight. Thank you. So please,
I'll say good day, good evening, good afternoon to all your viewers, both online and I suppose on some TV stations. I'm still trying to understand how this works, but I'm happy to be here.
We are happy to have you as well. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation tonight. So we'd want to quickly set the ball rolling because of time. So kindly tell us about yourself, precisely about your upbringing, your religious affiliation, where you were brought up, as well as your political life, a bit about your political life.
Okay. I would have. I mean, you read my entire profile, and that pretty much tells you. But maybe a bit of the informal.
Exactly.
I was born to an army officer father, and
Okay.
my mother was housekeeper. So I went into the barracks life, the army life, all my life until I was about. We left the barracks when I was close to 20 years old. So a whole generation in the barracks. I went to all army schools. So I went to school, some parts in Burma camp, some in Takrady. And throughout my childhood, I lived in the barracks. I didn't know any other life. So we lived in Tamale, Takrady, various parts of Burma camp, the military academy in Teshi, and the staff college where my father ended up. So that was my life. The last of 5 siblings, 3 boys, and there's 2 of us girls. And my schooling in all the bear camp schools, as many army schools as possible, probably 4. So I went to Wesley Girls High School
Oh
when we
wow.
used to do 7 years. So I must have gone to Wesley Girls High School at about age 12, and I left at about after age 18 or around age 18. I think I went around 11 years or so. So yes, I went to Wesley Girls High School and I went to University of Ghana. You talk about my religious affiliation. I'm a hodgepodge of many. I'm a Christian, of course. I was born and baptized as an evangelical Presbyterian because I was baptized in my hometown in a place called V, near. And my grandfather was a presbyter in the church. So I was baptized in the church in my hometown as an evangelical Presbyterian. But the Ghana Army Barracks Church are mostly Methodist Presby, not evangelical, but Methodist Presbyterian. So I grew up in the Methodist Presby Church. I went to an all Methodist school. And now I go to Accra Ridge Church. I'm a member of our church. I'm a lay reader in the church. So I'm more Methodist than Presbyterian right now, but it doesn't matter. We serve one God. So,
Exactly. Wow. I'm very glad
yeah.
to introduce an old girl. I also attended Wesley Girls High School, and it's a privilege to have you. I completed
Wow, good.
2013.
Yes.
Wow.
My goodness, I finished Wesley Girls High School in 1986.
Oh,
As I told you, I'm not in Ghana, I'm visiting in the US, and I'm actually staying with a friend that I made in Wesley Girls High School. She's 1988 year group.
wow. Wow.
Mm.
That's great. I'm very glad to have you tonight. I want to also find out from
Thank
you,
you.
how did you enter into politics? What inspired you to enter
Wow,
into
that's interesting. Well, I think that I was a deep down inside, I was a politician without realizing I was. And it's only yesterday that Facebook reminded me of my participation in the Occupy Ghana demonstrations. All the pictures came up, yes, because it's 7 years since we did Occupy Ghana. So that is how I probably got noticed. And I didn't go out there, set out there to go on this demonstration to say I'm a politician. I went there to voice my displeasure as the way things were going in the country, which wasn't comfortable for me. I didn't feel that things were going right for me. And that is how come I went and got vocal at Occupy. And I think I got noticed by Progressive People's Party. I probably got noticed by other parties too. Indeed, the NDC at the time, because the demonstration was against them, put me in the tabloid and wrote not very pleasant things about me. But it's okay. It's still some attention, drawn to what I had to say. So they did that, and the PPP then asked me in 2016. So this was in 2014. So in 2016, I was asked by the PPP if I would like to be running mate to Dr. Indom, and I accepted. If not at all, I did. I believed I had something to say. I was not very happy about the way things were going in Ghana, and this might have been my opportunity to express it. And I wasn't speaking just for me, I probably was speaking for many other people who felt the same way. So that's how I got to this.
Wow, interesting. We also want to find out from you, what unique skills do you have that gave you that competitive edge over all your other political opponents? Any unique skills?
Well, I don't know that I have any competitive edge over all my opponents, because opponents in the other parties have been in power.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm a people person. I like to, interact with people. So that way, people would be drawn to you. But I don't, you see, I find that we place a lot of emphasis on acquired skills and knowledge. We should actually place a lot more emphasis. And whilst you were doing your intro to this program, I noticed that there was something about, someone said something, I think there was a previous program where someone said, if you have no integrity, you have nothing. And we should put more on our values rather than our knowledge and our skills. And maybe what I think I might have above other people, it is the conviction and the courage to stick by my principles and my values and voice them out. And it, regardless of where I find myself, even if it means that I will go against parties' wishes sometimes that's what is going to happen, because at the end of the day, it is my conviction, my principles, and my values that I will stand by first. So that might be it.
Okay. Wow. All right. Thank you so much. And we also want to find out from you if you have any political mentors. Do you have any person that you look up to in terms of your political journey or career?
Yes, I have met, like you said in my intro, I participated in some Vital Voices program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Vital Voices is an NGO that invests in women's leadership all over the world. So a number of us who belong to Vital Voices Network. Vital Voices is actually located in Washington, D.C., but it has networks of women all over the world.
Okay.
And through Vital Voices, I've met some very dynamic women who have inspired me. The last Vital Voices program I took part in was the VV Engage, which is actually a fellowship for women in political leadership. And through that, I met women like Jenny Shipley. Jenny Shipley was Prime Minister of New Zealand some time ago. I also met Kim Campbell. Kim Campbell was also Prime Minister of Canada some time ago. And all those women, and I also met an ex-Prime Minister of Peru. Her name isn't coming very easily to me. But those were women who are way up, before their time. They've been prime ministers of countries, and yet they are so down to earth, they are so simple. And the one theme that I heard from them was the same issue about values and about principles. And it was Jenny Shipley who said to me, she said, what we become, what we learn, what we acquired skills and knowledge and all that, all those things are just cloaks we can put on and put off. But at the end of the day, it is what you are at core. You see, a lot of politicians seem to think that they need to play politics. But you don't need to play politics. You really need to live politics. And when you want to live politics, it must be true to you and it must be true to the people you're dealing with. And that is what I picked up from a lot of them. So it is what is true to the person. It is what is happening in people's lives. It's not to be played with. And I have learned from it. And you need to look on these people with some compassion and some empathy to be a good politician. And that's what I picked up from them.
Wow, that's great. That's interesting and great to know. We also want to find out from you, Madam Bridget, as a woman, how did you find the political terrain, considering the stereotype regarding politics, and especially women in politics? Is it difficult, especially for young women, to venture into politics and actually do politics?
It is not easy. It's not easy, and you'll find people want to put you down, particularly in Ghana. Understand that Ghana by itself is difficult.
Yeah.
People are feeling very good right now in Ghana. People are not happy. People don't have money. People are hungry. People don't have jobs. There's a lot of Ghana is difficult right now. So when you are able to, through the difficulty, really say, I want to be like this, you find that people, out of their anger and their bitterness, will not have kind words for you. So yes, it's not easy, but I don't slight people for that. I understand where they're coming from when people want to be nasty. Because they can, here I am hungry, and who do you think you are that you want to do this? So I tend to understand where people are coming from, but that doesn't make it easy. It makes it it gives you the confidence to carry on, understanding where people are coming from. If you take it personally and take it as, oh gosh, why are people being so nasty to me? You will deter yourself. You will get out of it. But when you try to understand where they are coming from, it's easier. But yes, it's not easy. I mean, you need funding. And I know that a lot of young women may want to go into politics. You need funding. You're a woman. The men have money. A lot of men have money and they can fund you, but they don't only want to give you money. They want a lot more beyond just giving you money and trusting that you're going to be a good politician. And that is difficult because you cannot give up certain favors because you want their money. So you remain poor, or you remain a poor politician. It's difficult because people expect you to be a woman. You must understand me as a mother, and you can't always be the same thing for everybody. Yes, it's difficult. Ghana and indeed Africa have understood that it is men who should be our political leaders. So when you as a woman are going to try to be a political leader, they scoff in your face. They laugh at you. They seem to think, who are you? Why do you think you? And they don't realize that it's actually a lot more difficult for women. But the difficulty should not. You are convinced of a certain something that must happen or something that must change. And with that conviction, you must forge ahead.
Wow. Thank you so much for that priceless advice. I'm sure any young woman listening to us has picked something, even from this short interaction we've had this far. Okay, we also want to find out from you. You are one of the few women to be appointed as a running mate to enter into such high political office. How did you embrace the news when you were asked to vice Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum? And how was the experience like?
Well, I wasn't asked and then suddenly I became, or I wasn't told or appointed.
Okay.
And I had the option to accept or not. And in fact, it's 2016. It's around this time. It was around this time, July 2016. And I think I had that meeting on the 7th of July or so. And I said, give me 2 weeks because my birthday is in 2 weeks, the 20th of July. And said, by that time, I would have an answer for you. So I was asked and I had the option to accept or turn down. I didn't turn it down. I thought that it was a good opportunity. You must look at opportunity properly. It was a good opportunity for me to also project, but also it was a good opportunity to make all the ranting and raving, all the complaints that I had against how Ghana was being run on Facebook. This was my opportunity or the platform for me to put it out there. So it was an opening for me, and I don't take things for granted. I don't think that it is just by chance that they came to ask me, Bridget, to be running mate. It tended to coincide exactly with the time that I had I felt that there was a lot going wrong and I had something to say. And I also felt that women must step up and be vocal, So it wasn't about me as such, it was about Ghana and a difference that had to be made. How did I feel? I felt some pressure. I needed, I have a family and I have friends, and people will go to them and say, your friends or your family members, and they also have their party affiliations and things like that. So I had to let them know, run it by them. I wasn't selfish about it. I have a son who is a growing teenager whose mother is going to be out there in the limelight. I had to let him know. So there was a consideration of the family and friends and how to let them understand that this is a step I'm going to take. I'm going to be out there. It's not going to be easy. And let them understand. And all that and run it. I asked, okay, I will do this. But it was scary. I won't lie to you. It was frightening because, as you said, it's the first time I was stepping into. I mean, I wasn't running as a parliamentary candidate. I went straight vice presidential candidate. I was thinking, who am I? So it was scary, but you take it one day at a time, and then face the challenges and work them as you go along.
Thank you so much for letting us know that the journey is not easy, but then we take it one day at a time. Thank you so much for that piece of advice. We want to find out from you. When it comes to politics, a lot of people make claims that politics is self-seeking and it's more about what is in for me as a candidate. Can we have your take on such assertions? Is it always self-seeking? Is it about what the candidate is expecting to gain?
I think it's the way we have played it in Ghana that makes it look like that. This is the way Ghanaians have played politics. And I hate to say it is the way our men have played politics. There's a lot more men in there than there are women. Yes, they've played it in a way, but there are people who are not in it for self-seeking or for selfish reasons. People who are in there because they want a better life for them and their community and the people around them, and that is what it ought to be about. Like I said, I'm not in Ghana right now, and I walk around the neighborhoods here thinking, why can't we have this? Why can't I have this? And that is it. I think for a lot of our politicians, they are not considering how much better Ghana can get. And this is what we should think about. How much better can it get? Not for me. If it gets better for me and it doesn't get better for anybody else, then how, if I live in a neighborhood where my neighbor disposes of their rubbish in their backyard, and yet I'm keeping my backyard clean, or I can afford to keep my backyard clean, what good is it to me? It's still a diseased neighborhood. So yes, it is the way politics has been played far that has made it seem as if it's self-seeking. But I'll tell you, it is also a colonial way of playing politics, and our politicians have actually lost touch with the populace and with the electorate right now.
Exactly.
We have very old people who have come from the 1900s. Believe it or not, we're in 2020. And we have politicians who are still playing politics from 1966 and 1972, politics of vengeance and of coup d'etats and of, they did this to us, so we'll do this back, or it's our time to chop, or it's very, very old politics where we do not realize that if I am gaining and the other person is gaining, then we are all ease. So, we can all live. So we, the younger ones, must actually get up and put ourselves into positions where we can also influence our politics. And not only influence, I know there are some younger ones who've gone into the major parties right now, but they are just towing the line as it already exists. They must go in there and make. I know that the younger population, the youth, you are more humane, you are more loving of one another, you are kinder, you are more compassionate. You know, you are not envy. There's not as much envy. There's not as much pull him down. I think that the old way of playing politics is let me get this person down so that I look better. But looking better is just the surface, it's just superficial. Really, are you in a better position? You are not in a better position by pulling your friend down. You can only be in a better position by building yourself up. And our politicians right now, those people in leadership right now, still don't get it. There's still a lot of fear of the opposition. So anybody who's in power must break down the opposition rather than build each other up. And that is what we have to change. We have to change that politics. I think with my party, with the Progressive People Party, we are always talking about inclusion, inclusiveness, bringing everybody, because everybody has to contribute one way or other. Let them come and contribute, and let us all have enough for everybody. But this thing where it's just and all the people in my party must have a position whether they can perform or not. And yes, the country is going down. We, the younger ones, must take it up. The politicians right now, those in leadership right now, I'm telling you, have lost touch completely. That is why we have something like you have a huge funeral for one of your party members. There are 1,000 people there, and yet when young people want to have a little demonstration and express their frustration, you say they can't, and you use an excuse of the 10,000 people or 1,000 people at that funeral are also capable of getting COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and that's idea that because we are smarter than you, and therefore we anything and you must take it or leave it or else we'll come and shoot you. It's colonial. It's past. We are not doing that anymore. And we, the young ones, must make our voices heard and say we need to move on. We are not in 1966. We're in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah. You just spoke about our political system. I want to ask a follow-up question. If you had the opportunity to change anything concerning the political game or leadership in our country of ours, what would it be?
It will be the Constitution. The Constitution and the winner takes all system.
Okay.
Yes, our Constitution empowers our president beyond measure so that he is in control of everything. Maybe we are lucky this time around that we have a speaker who comes from the other side and is probably a bit more objective. But our president is in control of everything. You know, the other day we were talking about DCs and MMDCs. In fact, City FM was talking about DCs and MMDCs, and I was thinking, I think I must commend the mayor of Accra and what he's doing, cleaning up Accra, make Accra work again. It's fantastic. Yeah. And he's not even listening to anybody, whether you vote for him again or you don't vote for him, he doesn't care. He's cleaning up Accra, which is a good thing. The one thing we do is, the moment we start doing things like this, we are thinking of what will we lose, but we never think of what we will gain. So he may lose votes, yes, but by the end of his term, he would have gained so much trust. He would have cleaned up Accra. There's so much more he will gain. And there's this thing of the winner takes all system, which must be looked at, and that would have to do with reviewing our constitution. The constitution has been reviewed. Oh, it's just passed, you know, and they're taking it in bits and doing things with it. But if you are able to review our constitution so that the president is not the one to appoint 3,500 people, leadership positions all over the country, something will change. If we are voting for our own MMDCs and DCs, we will hold them accountable. We will actually help them generate their own income from the communities. I was saying to City FM when they were talking about this, that look, you can make money from your communities, for example, if you decide. that all fitting shops you are moved, just as they've moved Agbogbloshit somewhere, they can move all fitting shops to say all fitting shops in this district, this is your place. You must rent space here. And you all sit there. Instead of having fitting shops dotted all over all kinds of corners in Accra with rusting cars, you have one place where they come, they rent the space, that is their fitting shop. All carpenters, they have their enclave. All traders in, all those who do windows, aluminum windows, and they have their corner. And you leave it to a DCO or MDCA to generate his own income and run the districts. Now, up till now, we still have a central government that can decide whether the MMDCs are supposed to get, I think, 3% of GDP. And yet, sometimes I think it's 3 to 5%, and they don't get that money to develop the communities. And when they don't get the money and they don't develop the community, no one complain, nobody can vote them out, nobody can change them. If he's not getting the money, he's not getting the money. So the community is not developing. But if you do it in a way that they are voted for, he can't go and sit there and say, I'm not being given the money. Because he knows that if he complains, the people next time will vote him out. Exactly. So that is the one thing I would like to change from the.
Wow, interesting. That's great to know. Let me quickly read some few comments and then we'll proceed with the questions.
Sorry, so I'm at home, so I'm a bit distracted, but
don't worry, that's fine. I think things are still moving smoothly. So my producers, if you could kindly project some of the questions. Okay, this is from Joe Guy, and he says, I like the voice. Thank you so much, Joe Guy.
Thank you, Joe Guy.
This from Christopher Wisdom Penway. He says, watching live from Dodowa. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep watching us. I think I saw a few more. This from Kingsley Kwapon. He says, watching you guys from the States. Thank you for watching us.
Which state he's in.
He's in the United States. He's been watching. I know which state. Actually, my dad. And he's been always watching our program. Want to say thank you. And this is also from Christopher Wisdom Penway. He says, thank you Today Ghana News for putting this together. And thanks, Madam Bridget. I have few questions. One, what inspired you into joining politics? I think I've
already talked about that. Mm-hmm.
And he says, what motivated you in joining the PPP instead of NDC or NPP, knowing that it can only take a miracle for PPP to win the presidential seat? I think he has one more question. And he says, what were your expectations before your presidential general elections? And after the election, how did you handle the failure to occupy the highest seat of our land? So I think these are very two detailed questions.
Wisdom, I'll tell you what. It is because you see the elections as just a win. That is why you think, you should join the party that wins or loses. It's not simply winning or losing. It's also getting the message out to the people of Ghana. Yeah. I'm not interested in just winning an election just for the sake of winning. It is also getting a message out. It is also seeing Ghanaians live. It is also letting them understand that, something's got to change. What's the point of winning NDC or being with NDC and MPP, winning, and our country is still the way it is right now? What has it gotten us? NPP won, yes, and now they are shooting people in the Idra. What? So if you simply look at it as yes, it will only take a miracle. Maybe you are the miracle. Maybe you are the one who should say something has got to change in this country, and NDC and NPP are the ones to bring it to us, because they are not. You see, and so it's not a competition. It's not simply a competition of who wins and who loses. It's not simply about that. It is about believing that something has got to change. And for me, I don't see that change coming in NDC, coming in NPP. I have, unless we change some of the people in there, and maybe young ones like you should go in there and try to change things truthfully, do things with integrity, stand by principles. But if we are going to sit there and only see our elections as a win or lose and not a change, then we are going nowhere fast. And I would expect that young people like you would believe in that ability, or what you can contribute to that change, rather than just sitting back and saying, "Oh, you lost," or "Oh, you won," because it's not a football team. It is more a group of people, like-minded people, trying to change something, and that is the point.
Wow. Thank you so much for answering, Christopher. That takes me to a follow-up question. Madam Bridget, assuming you won the seat, or assuming you were elected as president in the last election, how would you have handled the youth agitation that is currently going on in the country? That's the Fix the Country agitation. How would you have tackled such a
There wouldn't
situation?
have been a Fix the Country agitation. There would not have been a Fix the Country agitation, because the Fix the Country agitation is because of empowerment and what's going on. Okay, so like I said, the current people in leadership have lost touch with the youth. The youth want something completely different. Life is evolving. We are not in 1960. Look, I was born after 1966. I have people who are still talking UP, CPP. Well, there's a CPP party now, but talking about Nkrumah and what he didn't do, and then we haven't moved on. 1966, 1970, we haven't moved on. And as long as we keep driving whilst looking in our rear view mirror, we will not get anywhere fast. So what we need to do is to say, where are we going from here? Our electorates are, I think, according to some statistics, 80% of our population are under 40. We are a young nation. We cannot be playing politics with our bitterness and our anger and our fear and our strife from 1966. We have to look forward and say, what do we want? And then work with that. So, no, if I was in power, there would be no Fix the Country, because you will all be involved, you will all be brought on board to help fix what we have.
Wow. That's great to know. That's very assuring. I have a comment from Mr. Charles Sam, GFP, and he says, Ghanaian politicians promise a paradise on earth, only to turn out to be political Draculas, sucking the blood of the poor masses.
But Charles, you keep voting for those people. It is the people you vote for that you get. I mean, ever since we started constitutional rule 1992, it's either NDC or NPP. So what do you expect if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results? It's the same people. You just choose them after every 4 or 8 years. You're not going to get anything different. So maybe we, the Ghanaians and the voters and electorates, must also take responsibility. We are responsible for the people we vote into power. And maybe we should look at it and say, maybe we're not doing things as we ought to do them. Maybe we should relook at this. Maybe we ourselves should step in. Or if we ourselves are not stepping in, we should look at other people that we believe will come and do things right by us. But if you are only looking to vote to be with the winners, you only get, you're not voting to make the winner. You want to vote to be with the winner. Then you only get these two, and that is what you will get from the politicians.
So we cannot do the same thing and expect different results. So we have to actually think twice when it comes to our electioneering year and the things we do, because we get the results that we actually do. Okay, so we also want to ask you, what advice will you give to the president concerning the current Ejura? If you have any advice, what would you give?
I don't know. Well, I've been out of the country for a week, so I don't know what he has said or what has been said yet. I haven't heard him say anything.
Okay.
The sad thing about it is apologies will not bring back those people who have died, but they must be rendered all the same.
Yes.
But I think that this is not a commission, an issue of a commission of inquiry. I think that people set out there to kill, to frighten us.
Yeah.
And there is no sense in ruling a country with fear. That becomes a form of a dictatorship, where people in a country are afraid to speak out because they will be attacked or they'll be killed. So the president must actually look into the security services, find out who actually sends them there to go and kill those people. And I don't know if there's any form of compensation they can. I mean, there's no way you're going to bring those dead people back. But what they must do is reinstate a sense of security in the whole country and ensure that the security services can be trusted when we see them. In 2014, when we went for the Occupy demonstration, the policemen were all over the place. They had their water cannons. They were fully kitted to the hilt. We walked among them. So long as we didn't do anything to endanger their lives, they didn't touch us. They walked with us. But they made sure that we behaved. I don't know that if we occupied this time, some of us would have lived. I doubt that we would have. And that is the insecurity we are starting to feel right now in Ghana. And the president must reassure us of our security.
Wow. Thank you so much. All too soon, we'll be drawing our program to a close, but then I have a few more questions. What are some of the bitter, likewise sweet experiences that every up-and-coming female politician ought to know or possibly expect?
Oh, I don't know. I don't dwell on the bitter, but I think that you can expect to be attacked. And I said it in the beginning, they will attack you though. It's just, you see, people will only project onto you how they are feeling inside. So they may want to frighten you or you and sometimes not help you. But I must say that during the 2020 elections, I had a lot of people who came up to me to say, we want to support you. We want you to do well. That is very brave. They have a word of encouragement. So for every one person who says something nasty, I can tell you for a fact there are 10 people who are there to encourage you. So don't be afraid. Don't dwell on the bitter. Dwell on the positives and the possibilities and carry on with it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's go on a quick commercial break and then we'll have our final question, after which we would call it a night. So you so much for tuning in. Empowerment Our Show is proudly sponsored by Authentic Sales, Taylor the Cobbler, Afrani's Cuisine, and Jody's Kitchen. We also want to say a very big thank you to MC Derek Defio for sponsoring us with our flyer for this week. So if you are listening to us as well and then you have any event, if you want someone to bring life to your event, you may kindly contact him, Derek Defio. I'm sure my producers will project his flyer as well as his details beneath the screen as the discussion draws to an end. Okay, so quickly, let us ask our guest for tonight one more question, and then we would call it a night. Thank you so much, Madam Bridget, once again. We've had an interesting time with you. I think we have a few more questions and a few more minutes, and then we would say goodbye. So I saw a comment from Christopher Penu once again. And he says, thanks for the answers to the previous questions. What's your take on the 2020 elections and the election petition? Was the election free and fair? He's asking for your views with regards to these questions.
I don't know whether it's in my place to say whether it was free and fair. I think there was an electoral commission that said it was free and fair. The NDC thought it wasn't free and fair. The NPP said it was. We all say irregularities. So you should judge it by that. You know, we all saw the irregularities. Some people died. If that by you is free and fair, then so be it. I think that we saw it. I think that there were things that could certainly have been done better that were not done. What did I think of the election petition? I frankly, at some point, stopped following it because it was too much of wrangling and back and forth for me, and I could tell the way it was going to go. But it's done and it's gone. Whether it was fair, I mean, we have a government now, we are running. What can we change about it? Not much. Let's go forward. Let's move forward. Everything that happens like that, we say, what is the learning we are taking from it? And I hope that both parties, including all political parties, have taken their lessons from it. And next, including the Electoral Commission and the next elections, we hope that it will be handled better.
Precisely. Thank you so much. Okay, so our final question for you, Madam Bridget, is that what advice would you give to any lady who has the passion to enter into politics or any political endeavor? Any advice for any young lady?
I hope it is passion. You use the word passion, and everything you want to do, you must be driven by your passion. Don't be driven by the money. Don't be driven by the selfishness. Sorry, there's a bit of noise in the background, but bear with me. Don't be driven by any of this thing. Be driven by your passion, and your passion to see people in a better position than they are. That is what should drive you into politics. And the rest of it, if you are working with your passion, nothing will deter you. Nothing will put on. You'll be able to do it.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate. So from Today Ghana News TV, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Madam Bridget, for spending time with us tonight. We know you have a very, very busy schedule, and to have you here tonight, we truly, truly and greatly appreciate. God richly bless you, and we hope that we would have another session with you in the near future. God bless you and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I enjoyed the conversation. And yes, hopefully when I'm back in Ghana, we can have another session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
So once again, Empowerment Our Show is proudly brought to you by Authentic Sales, Taylor the Cobbler, Afrani's Cuisine, and Jody's Kitchen. We thank you all so much for sponsoring. Also, we had with us today another sponsor, that's my global student, as well as MC Derek Defio. Thank you all so much for associating with Empowerment Our Show. We truly appreciate. Time is already fast spent. Today promised to be very short. It was an hour interaction with the PPP presidential candidate, Madame Bridget, and it was an awesome moment. Thank you all so much for joining us. Once again, it's your girl Joyce Ohinewa Kwapon. So see you same time next week on Empowerment Our Show, as well as on Today Ghana News. It's been great having you tonight. Have a lovely weekend. See you same time next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, for